Hey, what's up? I'm Guy.
I'm John.
This is our YouTube channel. Subscribe to it and give this video a like.
Yep, check out our podcast below in the description.
It's not easy, John, but the Niners keep swinging that pick, moving up draft position. And the question continues, what will be their best option? Will it be a draft pick or will it be trading that draft pick for, say, Matthew Stafford? And it really does shine a light, as now I think even the most ardent 49er fans have had to give up on the playoffs, the ones who ignored all of the obvious for several weeks now. Even they can't deny that this is now about the offseason, and it's an offseason that might shape the next 10 years of the 49ers organization under Kyle Shanahan if he picks right when it comes to a quarterback, or doesn't pick at all. I mean, he could just stick with Jimmy. But whatever he decides is going to be a major impact on the future of the franchise.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say the only way Jimmy Garoppolo is not on this roster is if they land Matt Stafford. And that, to me, is a pretty big unknown right now. I get texts sometimes like, hearing some buzz about Matt Stafford. They don't have a fucking general manager or a coach. So it's like there is nothing with that. And I'm not trying to talk shit about anyone.
The only buzz would be agent buzz, right?
Yeah, and him. And I do think he'll get traded because I think he'll force his way out. But the Lions, as an organization, they don't have any decision-making power right now. And he is kind of, to me, the golden goose out there for quarterbacks. You would rather have him than anyone not named Trevor Lawrence. And as of right now, like, the Jaguars are going to get Trevor Lawrence unless something weird happens and the Jets get him again. Kind of a weird day for the Jaguars and the Jets. But that's a two-horse race.
Yeah.
And it's between all these other college quarterbacks that, like, watching Justin Fields against Northwestern, I don't think his stock is going the other way, Guy. Like, it's plummeting. Trask and Mac Jones and Zach Wilson and Trey Lance, like, all these guys have a ton of question marks about them. Jimmy Garoppolo, we've been saying for a while, more than likely is going to just be back.
Yeah.
They just, like, C.J. Beathard, who can't be out Nick Mullins, like, okay, he's gone. And Nick Mullins has proven he's not good enough to be your backup quarterback, right? So he's going to have to be gone. They're going to need to figure out the situation where if it is Jimmy and a rookie, or even if it's Matt Stafford, you probably still have to be invested in maybe a rookie. Their quarterback room is a disaster.
If it's Matt Stafford, then it's obviously not a first-round rookie because you're probably trading what could be the 7th or the 10th pick for Matt Stafford.
Would you trade pick 8 for Matt Stafford and just do that, just clean? Boop, boop.
I would do it. I mean, the caveat, I hate to hedge, but it's like, provided I do we get through draft season and we don't love any of these guys enough. Like, that's what I'm getting at with Kyle is you can't do I didn't really watch him that much Mahomes thing this year. Like, it's got to be.
You're saying Kyle would have to do a deep dive in January on everybody.
Kyle has to watch everybody and determine would I rather have Matthew Stafford than that guy. But yeah, to answer your question, yeah, I'm open to trading that pick for Stafford versus using that pick on a quarterback. But to me, it's got to be one of those two things. And
the good thing with Matt Stafford, that doesn't happen until mid-March at the earliest, right?
But this is about what does Kyle Shanahan think of his options at quarterback. Well, one of the reasons you're paying him, one of the reasons I really value him is that I am confident that whatever you think Justin Fields or whichever, pick a guy, Zach Wilson, like we just name all the guys, Davis Mills from Stanford, whatever you think anybody's ceiling is, I am pretty confident Kyle can find it. Like, Kyle can find it. The question is, what is that person's ceiling? So, if he watches Zach Wilson and loves him, I would say draft Zach Wilson. Like, if you love him, draft him instead of trading that pick for Matt Stafford.
And it's way cheaper. You get a younger player that you get to groom and create a culture around. It is, big picture, it's the healthiest move, right?
But if you do that, you're right. Jimmy Garoppolo is your week 1 starter. Because we're watching what it looks like right now when you go into a season with one starter, and even that guy's a little iffy. But as quickly as rookies have acclimated, especially this year, and just generally speaking, we remember what Matt Ryan year 1 to year 2 was under Kyle, right? He took a jump. To ask a rookie to run Kyle's offense week 1 might be a little much, but I don't know. At this point, watching these guys, I can't rule it out for anybody.
You go a little Mahomes, Alex Smith. That's the best case version. I'm not saying that's what it would become, but That was their mindset when they drafted Mahomes, right? Alex had been much more consistent and had been on the field. The situations don't parallel each other, but the situation would parallel each other in what you're saying. And I think what is probably the most realistic option is to be aggressive. Well, the Chiefs had to be more aggressive because they were making the playoffs. The Niners are already up there. They could just draft Zach Wilson at 8 or maybe 6 or who knows. I mean, they're not going to win another game, right? And then just have Jimmy and then just play it at the end of the year. Like part of Mahomes, they weren't dead set on Mahomes was going to be the starter year 2. Things just happen. You just open it up. Like look at I almost said Lamar Jackson, Jordan Love, and Aaron Rodgers. But like they had the same mindset. They weren't in a huge rush, but they were open to it. But then Rodgers, and again, all these situations do not parallel each other, right? Rodgers is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Alex Smith is like the greatest bridge quarterback / accomplished kind of good, but he's not that good, but he's in a weird spot. And then Mahomes, it just turned out, was like the best player ever. So like the Niners would ideally just want someone way better than Jordan Love. They don't even need Mahomes, clearly. I mean, Kyle didn't even like him. But they just want something that a guy can be a starter on a cost-controlled contract.
More of an incomplete study than a fail study, but yeah.
Jordan Love?
Deshaun. No, you said Kyle Mahomes. Like Kyle, like, well, I didn't fully watch him, so like maybe I would have loved him, but no one knows for sure.
Well, I do wonder, like, the Niners front office wasn't pounding the table, right? Clearly. Right. Or maybe Kyle just wouldn't have been open to it no matter what. Again, it's pointless to talk about those times. It is what it is. Fucking Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson. And I think this in general, this happens. Woulda, coulda, shoulda picks. And they're fun to do, especially like in the offseason. But in the reality, like as the season's going, your players are like you have Solomon Thomas. You have that guy. You have that guy. You don't have Jamal Adams. Like they have DK Metcalf. Like what if the Eagles would have not taken JJ or taken Whiteside? Well, they did. And every day when fucking people show up to work, he's one of them. But it's just the reality of the situation.
Yeah. Well, and it's what makes it Kyle's most important evaluation, period. And part of that is the decision to pull the trigger. Maybe it's the decision not to pull the trigger. And we do this, and this is going to happen the closer we get to the draft. It's going to be Trevor Lawrence, and then we're going to talk about the other quarterbacks as if one of the other guys has to be good just because there's going to be 4 or 5. You go, well, maybe 2 of them hit. But I'll reference your Twitter again because you tweeted Saturday night, right? Like Josh Allen is about to get broken off, and he's really the only one of this group of first-round picks he's going to get way more money than any of the other guys, right? He'll get more than Lamar.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Lamar's going to get paid this offseason.
Well, and Baker, right? They're in this kind of in-between. Yeah. Lamar's won an MVP, so it's not fair to put him in Baker's category. But the point is, we could look back on this upcoming draft class in 4 years ago. Yeah, it was Trevor Lawrence and the other guy. There was a couple other guys that were meh. But if Kyle decides to use the 8th pick on what turns out to be maybe a non-superstar, non-15 quarterback, top 15 quarterback, then he'll be in the same position again in 4 or 5 years, right? It's where you usually end up with quarterbacks. You usually don't end up with a franchise quarterback. We know what Matthew Stafford is. He's a franchise quarterback.
I just, to me, once you get in the top 10, that price to teams is just like, do the Colts trade Buckner? I think it was easy with 13, Buckner. What if that pick had been 7?
You'd rather the Niners be at 14 and trade that pick for Stafford than be at 7 and trade that pick.
Would the Colts have done that pick if that pick was 7 and not 13? Probably not.
Would the Colts have sent number 7, you're saying?
For DeForest Buckner.
Yeah, they might have needed more from the Niners, right? The Niners.
Yeah, they might go, okay, 7, you get Buckner and a 2, right? I mean, 7's a lot.
Yeah.
It just is. 13, once you get in the teens, I think people stomach it easier. When you see those single-digit picks, it's like, what if you could get some transcendent, like, Darrelle Revis or whoever? It's not even just quarterbacks, right? It's just other players. You get the bite at the apple of these great players.
Yeah, the question is, will the Stafford deal wait until the draft?
No.
See, and that makes it harder.
Yeah, it's not like the NBA works that way, but in football, like, you draft that guy because he wants to be at the OTAs and stuff, right? I mean, you just get it going, and he wants out, and it's just if he gets traded, he's controlling part of it to me. Maybe he gives some money back of a signing bonus to facilitate trades. Like,
well, here's the other thing. If
he could
gets
be a
traded-
driving force in it.
Well, but if that's the case, then remember, the Niners got Trent Williams cheaper than maybe you otherwise would have if the player wasn't influencing the trade destination.
Yeah.
Like, if you're Matt Stafford, you want to get traded. You control where you're going to some degree. Do you want the Niners to trade the 7th pick for you? You don't.
Yeah.
So can you influence the situation enough? What are other people offering?
But here's the thing.
Like,
even
if
if it's
Lions,
like
would
two
you take a
twos,
2022 first-round pick? Would you take the next year's one from the
so
Niners?
I give you my second-round pick this year and next year's one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think you'd be open to stuff like that. Every pick, when you're as shitty as the Niners are, and destined now probably to go 5-11, you are going to pick high in every round, right? That's where they got Debo. You get really good players in the third round. You're picking high. Like those picks get really valuable.
You're talking about trading your second, your number 2 pick, yeah.
Yeah.
In 2021.
But I'm just saying in general, like ideally you'd want to hold on to all those picks are just valuable.
Look
to get
at
good
T.
players.
Higgins and Justin Jefferson, and the list is.
Yeah, maybe like if you're the Niners, you could get like some sweet DB, and then in the second round draft like Najee Harris. Boom, boom, you're like off and running with Jimmy.
Yeah, or an offensive lineman.
Yeah,
I say
right
take
tackle.
2 offensive linemen, John. That's my draft philosophy.
Well, that is the way to consistently win.